Hi, imagine this. You have given birth to a baby few days ago and it's a joyful occasion. But it's 3 in the morning and your baby is crying. You have been awake for what it feels like every night this week. Elders are messaging you saying that you should try formula. Your sibling swears by a brand she saw on Instagram. The midwife on the ward told you that the breast milk is the best. Influencers on the social media are talking about lactation cookies. Everyone has an opinion. You don't know what to believe. You don't know if you're doing enough. You don't know if you're doing it right. If, as a new mother, this is where you are, you're not alone. This series of videos on infant feeding is for you. I'm Dr. Shivashankar and I'm a neonatologist, a doctor who looks after newborn babies. Welcome to the channel Tiny Tot Parents, a channel where we discuss issues relating to newborn babies. Over a series of videos on infant feeding on this channel, let's talk about feeding a baby. So before we go any further, I want to say something very important. Feeding your baby by any safe method is a success. The truth is, breast milk is genuinely extraordinary. It's the gold standard. And the evidence on that is very clear, and pretending otherwise would be dishonesty. But equally important is the truth that modern formula is safe and nutritionally complete and a real valid option for parents who need it. And many parents do need it. So we'll spend the rest of the video series walking through exactly what each type of formula contains, when each one is the right choice, and how to see it through the marketing claims that fill every advertisement, every formula representative speech. I'll tell you what the evidence shows, what choices are there for you to make, and what to ask your own doctor. The decision is yours and it should be. I'm not going to recommend any specific brands, there is enough already on the internet. So whether you're exclusively breastfeeding or formula feeding or doing a combination, or if you've already made a decision or still working through it, I hope this series of videos will give you honest information you're looking for. Today, we'll begin with breast milk because every other formula we talk about in this video series only makes sense once you understand what we're comparing it to, what it actually is, and how nature has got it right. If you open a literature on the breast milk, grossly it would look like a list of ingredients. The protein, the fat, the sugar, the vitamins and minerals and water. That's true, but that's not everything. Breast milk is actually a living fluid. It means that it's not a fixed recipe like the one printed on the side of a formula milk tin. It's a biological substance that contains cells that are alive, your cells, and it's constantly changing. It changes its composition during a single feed. The milk at the start of the feed is different from the milk at the end, and the milk on week 1 is different from week 3. We have actually spent more than 160 years trying to copy this fluid in the laboratory. We still cannot do it. Let me explain what I mean. In the first few days after a baby is born, you don't produce normal milk. You produce something called colostrum. It is thick and often slightly yellow, and there is not very much of it. Many mothers worry that there isn't enough, but actually colostrum is concentrated. A teaspoon of colostrum is doing more for your newborn baby than a bottle of anything else could. Over the first few weeks, your milk gradually shifts into what's called a mature milk. The volume increases, the composition adjusts. Actually, nature is calibrating to exactly what your baby needs at that stage. No formula does it, and no formula can. Now, let's name a few of the components that make the breast milk genuinely extraordinary. The antibodies, specifically called secretory IgA. Basically, these are the proteins from your immune system that flow into the milk and get delivered to the baby's gut, where they help protect against infection. If you've been exposed to a bug in the last few days, the milk contains antibodies against that specific bug. So your body is essentially giving your baby a custom immune update with each feed. Second, natural prebiotics, not probiotics, but prebiotics. What are these? These are sugars that your baby doesn't actually digest, but instead they travel down your baby's gut and feed the good bacteria there, while at the same time blocking the harmful bacteria from sticking to the intestinal wall. So your milk actually contains over 200 different types of these. The formula companies in recent times have managed to add about 2 to 5 of these in some modern formulas, but your body actually makes 200. The third one is living cells. Yes, living cells. The breast milk contains immune cells that actually patrol the baby's intestine. No factory in the world can put the live cells into a tin of powder. And fourth one, your milk contains its own digestive enzymes. It's quite literally milk that help your baby digest the milk itself. The formula doesn't have this. So the babies on the formula have to do all the digestive work themselves. And the fifth one is the growth factors. These are the signaling molecules that tell your baby's intestine, brain, and the immune system how to develop. So another set of components formula milk barely has been able to touch. And that's why the scientists describe breast milk as a bioactive fluid. It isn't just feeding your baby, it's actually building your baby. Now, all these translate into real and measurable benefits. The breastfed babies have lower rates of stomach infection, ear infection, chest infection. They are less likely to be hospitalized in the first year of life. And for premature babies, we'll talk about that in detail in the later episode. Breast milk actually dramatically reduces the risk of a serious bowel condition called NEC. Looking further ahead, breast milk babies have low rates of asthma, low rates of childhood obesity and type 1 diabetes, and also have a low rate of sudden infant death syndrome. And there is evidence linking breastfeeding to a better long term brain development and learning outcomes. None of this is small, none of this is exaggerated. These findings have been confirmed in research studies around the world across decades. It's not just about the baby, breastfeeding does good for the mother as well. It reduces the risk of breast cancer, ovarian cancer, type 2 diabetes, and high blood pressure later in life. It also helps your body recover from pregnancy. So, breastfeeding is doing something for two people at once. So, when you think of all these benefits, you would think that the breastfeeding rates must be really high, right? But the reality is that worldwide, less than half of all the babies under the 5 months of age are exclusively breastfed. In other words, more than 50% of the babies are given formula milk in infants who are under the age of 5 months. That's a number worth thinking about. If the breast milk is so good, then why are so many babies on formula feed? The answer is complicated. Some mothers unfortunately cannot produce enough milk despite their best efforts. Some have medical reasons. Some return to work in situations where breastfeeding isn't realistic. And some may simply choose not to. And for some mothers, reason is something else entirely. They want to breastfeed, they tried, they didn't get the support they needed. Somewhere along the way, they were nudged towards the formula by the people or advertising that benefit from that decision. That's a big topic, and that's where we're going in the next episode, where we'll talk honestly about the real challenges of breastfeeding, what's normal, what isn't, where to get help, and the marketing tactics every parent should know about so that you can make the decisions that are actually your own. If this was helpful, subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss the rest of the series. And tell me in the comments what's the question about feeding your baby that you wish someone had answered properly. Until next time, take care of yourself, take care of your little ones, and see you in the next one.